Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for November 14th, 2016. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you see that price after a big, wide-ranging election day here, we basically had a very narrow Thursday, Friday, and then again Monday here. So it's been very, very quiet overall after this big time move. But we're right in the range here, 2144.75 to 2180. Very, very important key range here, or clear range that if price cannot hold 44s, we could be auctioning right back down to 2100. And above 2180 has new highs likely on the horizon into 2214 and 2240. So those are the next upside key zones. So right now we're trying to figure out how is this going to play out as we head into the holiday shortened week next week. With Thanksgiving here in the US, volumes could start to slow down a little bit, and then you could see a quieter range develop. You can see this wide ranging pivot range from the previous week. That's the current pivot range because of last week's price action was so wide. That tells you that we could have further trading range activity this week. Could start down first, then back up. Could start up, then down. But either way, we could be looking at fade the edges early until we see movement outside of the range. 44.75 and 21.90 outside of that range starts to move a little bit more in that direction. If we take a look here at the intraday time frame, really what we're seeing right now is price attempted to hold on 3 occasions up here above the previous session's high, and then that eventually went offered. Price is now chopping around the previous close, 2160 half, and is at the bottom of the third standard deviation here. If prices can hold 2160, we could see a pullback to 67 half to 68.75. But given the current push, we could see bears defend there. So right now we're really within that range. I would watch 2158 half. If prices cannot hold that FOMC level, we could be looking at a retest of the major 2144 below. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. Here's crude. It's been dropping here already to begin the session. Really, if we look at this thing, we have $1.54 of range is what we've been averaging over the last 10 sessions, and right now we're over $1 already. We're at about 68% of ADR for crude oil for the day. And what you're seeing is we're breaking below 43s for the first time. This is what we talked about before. The first test in the 43 is likely to be a good bounce. The second test, you're probably going to see price start to dribble through that area. So in breaking 43s, which is a significant key level, you can see how well defined it's been, well defended by bulls. Bears had it defended at one point. If price closes below that level today, we could be looking at a continuation to 39. 39 is the next major area of key level support. And that's going to be the significant area where bulls are really going to want to defend. Because really there's nothing below 39 except for 35s. That's an even bigger area of support. But this is the bottom of the larger trading range, which spans from 52 to 39. And getting into 39 could lead to a little bit of development here that leads to a pullback toward value. So we've already seen the rejection from 52 back to value. If we start taking value offered, which we are, we could be looking to defend it lower and bring it back to value yet again. All right, let's take a look at the intraday time frame for crude. On an intraday basis right now, you can see crude has been trending downward. We have a downward sloping VWAP. Price has been hugging the third standard deviation here, and it's below the previous week's close price of 43.12. So that's important, below 43s. Every pullback into this area likely to be defended by bears for another continuation lower. Any acceptance back above 43 to 43.12 would target 43.58. All right, let's take a look now at gold futures. Gold's been selling off quite a bit here. We see that after the election day, we had a major push up into 1338.30, and then we saw this thing come right back down below 1280. That was very important. Once price started to go below 1268 and 1263, that zone, it was important that we likely look for lower price levels in the 1200 because the stops were going to come out, and they certainly did. We've seen this thing continue onward. 1200 is a major area of support. 1208.30 is very important. So basically anywhere between 1200 and 1210 is a significant area of support. Right now we're seeing a rejection below the previous week's low right here, and we're seeing this thing pull back. So we're seeing a little bit of initial support come in for gold, but we may not have found the low just yet. I would say wait for 1200 to be hit if you're looking to define it, to buy it and bring it back up toward 1263s. Otherwise, and perhaps higher. Otherwise, you got to stay out of the way and let this thing continue to push toward your target if you're still short. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. Here's the NQ in a daily time frame. This one rejected off of the 4880s and dropped all the way back to the FOMC level at 4690. That's an area where bulls came in and defended. Now we're chopping here around 4760. Basically, the previous week's close is right here. We formed a big impulse range from 48.80 down to the 45.58 level. And right now, the midpoint is 47.19. So we could see further chop right around here, especially as we head into the holiday shortened week next week, Thanksgiving holiday. We could see further trading range here, action back and forth, but we got to continue to watch the key ranges. This is the key range from 48.80 to 45.58, the midpoint 47.19. Those are the most important levels to watch here as we shake out of the rest of this November. So continue to watch those levels. We could see further chop in that range since we're right in the middle of that distribution. But as soon as we get to one of the edges, it could be another fading opportunity. Lastly, let's take a look at the intraday time frame for the NQ. Again, dropping below 47.58, very important. Bulls tried to hold up here. Lower highs led to a stops run, and now we're back chopping around the previous close. So any retest up here back toward 47.60 initially may be defended by bears looking for a push back toward 47s. So 4700. So right now, any bounce in the 47.60 from below, watch it. If there's any rejection and bears start to creep in, that could be an opportunity to sell it for 47s. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.